Hello and welcome back. So today's unit is supply chain management. Yes, you heard that right. Let's move ahead. But I need a response from you, a response about whether you have completed the home task that was given to you so far or not. See, just look at what the system is. I had told you. This world, you see, is a stage. What is the world? It is a stage. On this stage, all of us actors are playing different roles. Who are you and I? We are actors, characters playing our parts. And see which hero's name is remembered the most. The one who plays his role with all his heart, genuinely. That actor's name is remembered by people even after he is gone, even after the show is over. No one remembers the producer or the director. People remember the one who played a good character. So I had told you that in this SPM stage, I am your guru, your guide, as your mentor. I am playing the role of a guru. That is why when I sit on this chair, when I pick up this pen, when my laptop is switched on, I never say or do anything in front of you that would bring any disrepute to my character. Was I able to make you understand? In the same way, you also should not do anything that would bring any disrepute to your student character. If the guru has shown you the direction and said, "Son, you have to make summary notes," then the student should say, "Yes, sir, I will make them and bring them." You will have to play your role. At that time, instead of coming onto the stage, instead of actually performing the play of guru and student, if you just sit outside as an audience, as a spectator, and simply enjoy watching, then wow, 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 what the guru said, what the disciple did, what the student did, if you just keep saying this, then no one is going to remember you. Nobody is going to remember this audience. Only the guru will be remembered and the student will be remembered, and I don't want myself to be remembered. What I want is that you should be remembered by everyone on this stage. So please do not skip any kind of guidance given to you. Be very, very transparent and genuine, and please enter into the character of the student properly. What are you doing? If you have sat down to study now, but are using your mobile on the side, then you have not played the role of a student properly. If you are studying while lying down, then you have not played the role of a student properly. If you are studying on your mobile or laptop and you are using earphones or have closed the room to study with focus, then you have played your role. Did you understand? So, you will have to play your role. Isn't it? You won't forget this, right? I will keep reminding you again and again in different ways. Today we did it this way, tomorrow we will do it in some other way. But you will have to perform. You cannot just be an audience. All right. You cannot judge, thinking what is he saying? Why is he saying this? You will have to trust. Whatever sir is saying, you will have to do that. All right, because it is your life that has to change, not ours. And whose life will change? Yours. So, for that, we are working hard together. If only I do it alone, it won't work. Come on, today we will study a new concept, which is supply chain management. According to me, this concept should have been taught to people in Group 1, in SCM as well. But it's alright, it wasn't taught there, no problem. We will cover it here, and it's a very good concept. It's a very, very important concept and a really good one too. I mean, because you will come across this concept again and again in life. So, what is supply chain management? In a way, it's like a company. Suppose it deals with its supplier, right? There is dealing with the supplier. So, there was a time when dealing with the supplier was called the purchase function or procurement function. So, here we used to procure, so we would just focus on purchasing, and then this company sells goods to the customer. So, it sells to the customer. There was a time when this was simply called the sales function. Eventually, it started to feel like, yaar, this customer is not loyal to us and even this supplier is not loyal to us. Sir, why do we need the supplier's loyalty? Ale, how can we not need it? If he doesn't give the goods on time, lies to us saying the goods aren't available, and then gives the goods to someone else or sells to us at a higher price, right? If he is loyal, then he shouldn't be doing such wrong things, isn't it? Suppliers were doing this and customers were also doing it. So the company started thinking, what should I do so that these people remain loyal to me? So today, I am going to give you such a Guru mantra that you can live your whole life by it. A person always has to connect with a new person at every stage in life, right? Now, when you have to connect, it's like how you connect with friends, then with teachers, then with employers. Basically, from time to time, face to face, you keep connecting with different people. So, even you would want the other person to be loyal to you, and similarly, they would also want you to be loyal to them. So, how does one bring about loyalty? Loyalty is a result, something for which you have to work to achieve. So, the work is in the relationship. The work is in the relations. How is a relationship formed? Sir, this has been my question for a long time. You have raised such a question, sir, that you have touched a raw nerve. Sir, we are living life in such a way as if we don't even know whether we will ever form a relationship with someone or not. We can't figure it out, or with whom we do form a relationship, it ends up breaking, isn't it? So, brothers and sisters, how will these relationships be formed? What rule have you learned for building relationships? Alright, I don't know that. Relationship means meeting the expectation. This is what a relationship means, meeting the expectation. If the expectation is met, then it's a relationship. Whatever it is always two-way. It is not one-way. If it is one-way, then it is not a relationship. Now, to truly make it two-way, someone has to take the initiative, and there is always someone who, selflessly and generously, without any desire for results, without any expectations, contributes something meaningful for the other person, fulfills their expectations, and that's when a relationship really begins, right? For example, I have a friend. If he and I became friends just a while ago, by a while ago, I don't mean just now, but a few months back, so it was just an acquaintance, that's all. Now what happened? Once, I was in my complex, which we call a society. Here, what do we call a complex or society? Anyway, there was a sports event happening in the apartment society complex, so I was participating in the backward race. While running, I fell down with a thud. When I fell, I got hurt so badly that I just couldn't get up. Somehow, they picked me up and took me home upstairs. Then I couldn't get up from bed. I just wasn't able to stand. I couldn't even sit, so standing was out of the question. Then somehow, by calling a physiotherapist, things were normalized. After taking painkillers, I felt a bit relaxed, so I was able to stand up a little, and slowly, by taking painkillers, I managed to move around. So when this happened, I hadn't been in touch with my friend for quite a few days. Then suddenly, one day a friend called, so I told him, "Bro, I'm facing this kind of problem. Arey, why didn't you tell me earlier? I said, I just didn't, but this is the problem. So he said, wait, just do as I say, and he sent 2 or 3 things to my house. He told me about some exercises, natural therapies, and also what to eat and drink. And for that, he would call me 4 times a day, okay, 4 times. Then he would talk to my wife, that is, your madam, telling her what to give me and what not to give, and this went on continuously for at least 5 or 6 days. Sometimes at 7 in the morning, sometimes at 11 at night, sometimes at 2 o'clock. He would call whenever he got time, and after 4 days, I stopped taking painkillers and I was able to stand up. I am able to do all my work comfortably. My body feels lighter. I mean, my weight that day was... After 4 days, my weight had reduced by 2 or 3 kilos. Yes, in just 4 days. Can you imagine? And the magic was no painkillers. After that achievement, what happened was that our friendship became so strong that I can't even explain it to you. That's how a relationship is built, by meeting expectations. So sometimes expectations are set, and sometimes they are not. So he understood my unspoken expectations and made a special effort to meet them without expecting anything in return, and that's when the relationship started. The moment we bring in the concept of getting something in return, the relationship doesn't work. Actually, it never even starts. I have a maternal uncle. Someday, if there's a chance, I'll introduce you to him. He always says, I never talk to a person who thinks of earning from his own family. Cancel, don't keep any relationship with such a person. You can't earn from your family. Now you'll have to define who is my family, you understand? Earning means, working to make money. There are some people, who do some work and earn 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees. They even lie and say, no, it's all fair, it's all equal. Then they end up making money. That kind of work, the talk is about earning money. Okay, if something is being sold anyway, that's a different thing. But not the kind of thing where you manipulate and earn money. So this thing got firmly set in my mind. Once, such an opportunity came up with a friend. He did it for me. Okay, but before that, what I did was, I found out that the other person was a bit weak in accounts. My friend, you all know about accounts and all that. The CFM people were really strong in that area, so what he was saying sounded a bit absurd to us. I said, hey, wait, not like this. Let's understand in detail. I will come to your office and discuss. So I went to their office twice, okay. Then, since he was in the construction line, he took me to the site. By going to that site, we discussed what is the situation, what is the issue, and then spent a lot of time and then with my network and my friends and all whatever I knew about the problem. I helped in. Alright, initially I felt that with all this help, whoever I connect might end up making some money. So I told him, if you earn money from this work, just give me a share as well. For a moment, this thought did cross my mind. Whomever I connect, it would be to solve their problem. So if they make money from it, I should also keep a share for myself. This thought came to my mind. Then my uncle came inside me. Uncle used to say, you should never maintain a relationship with someone who earns money by lying to their loved ones and family. Then I immediately cancelled the arrangement with the person whose problem I was solving. I stopped talking to them and told this person that you should solve your problem in this way, right? and you reach the solution and see how it turns out, and I started guiding them in the genuine way. And by way of that helping only, he could save around 30 to 40 lakh rupees, otherwise he would have lost that money. 30 to 40 lakh rupees. Can you imagine? And I never asked for a single penny out of it, and even if they had offered, I wouldn't have taken it, because at heart, it's about building a relationship. So this thing was somehow deeply settled inside him. That's why, when I felt stuck, he was really after me. That's how the relationship started, and then, by constantly following up with my father, I helped improve his health. That's how the relationship begins if you try to solve your motive. Now, for example, you are boys and you form relationships with girls. What is your motive behind that? A relationship forms between a boy and a girl. What is your motive? If behind that relationship you have some personal agenda, like in our times, it used to be about money and wealth. But at your level, let's say that motive is something else. If it's something dirty, or if your motive is just for your own benefit, then the relationship will not last. Understand this, if your motive is simply that you want their companionship, that's fine. And if your motive is that even if they are not able to do anything for you in return, it's still okay. So, when I helped for the first time and they saved 30 to 40 lakhs, I didn't do it thinking that you would help me in return someday. That you should help me like this. If I fall, then you should support me in the same way. I didn't do it that way, and similarly, when they helped me, they didn't do it thinking that since I had done something for them earlier, that's why they are doing it for me now, or thinking about what more they could do for me in the future. Nothing was done with such thoughts. It was just done from the heart without expecting anything in return. Just expecting that our companionship remains intact. That's where the magic happens. Then the relationship truly begins. And you can generally see an example of this kind of relationship with your parents. Especially with your mother. She does everything for you, anything and everything, without expecting anything in return. Alright, sometimes there are expectations from the father, but with the mother, there are never any expectations. So, in that relationship, someone initiates, it's the mother who starts. The problem is, we don't do much for our mother. Girls still do it, but boys do it a bit less, to be very frank. Some do, but it's less. So, if you start giving back, then you have learned how to build a relationship. If your intentions are bad, a relationship can't form. It won't happen. If your intentions are good, a relationship can form, and once it happens, everything starts coming to you automatically. God sends it your way. Anything is possible. If your intention is about building relationships, then you can receive anything as a gift. Are you able to understand what I am saying? But if there is something bad in your intention, then you will not get anything, and the relationship will break. If you have understood this, then companies are also facing the same thing. This problem is with the supplier, with the company. They are thinking, man, he is cheating me, lying to me. So we thought, where is the shortcoming? If there is a lack in the relationship, then what should we do for the relationship? Yes, what should we do for the relationship? This is the answer. This is the question. So what should we do, brother? For the supplier, relationship means that the supplier has an expectation from your company that you make the payment on time. Don't bargain too much, so you should follow that rule. If you start doing this, see, chances are the supplier will not cheat you. But even if he still does, then you will have to change the supplier. If you have done everything for him and even after that he is still causing you trouble, then there's nothing more to do. Then the relationship will not be built. So I paid my supplier on time. I didn't haggle with him too much. I always gave him respect, and even after that, if he is still trying to manipulate me, then you shouldn't maintain relations with such disgusting people. Got it? So, everything begins with the company. If you want to build a relationship with the supplier in the company, then you have to meet their expectations, all right? That's how the relationship will start to develop. Now, a human touch comes into the relationship. So, what does the human touch mean? It means, yaar, send sweets on Holi and Diwali. All this goes on separately anyway. Invite them to weddings and other family functions. Treat them like a member of the family. Suppose there's a wedding in your family. A director is getting married. If it's the director's child's wedding, then they'll be invited too. Even the suppliers will be invited. They'll feel that there's a sense of belonging, that this is a next level relationship. But that, I would say, is the outcome of the relationship. I would not say that is the start of the relationship. The start of the relationship is always to make payments to the supplier on time. So, there is a concept called supplier relationship management. Alright, now it has been observed that there isn't just one supplier in a company. Suppliers come from all over the world and offer many types, not just one thing. Some supply workers, some supply materials, some supply technology, and some supply software. Some, for example, are providing maintenance services. There are different types of vendors. There can be thousands of vendors, so we refer to this entire group of suppliers as vendors. That's where the concept of vendor relationship management comes in. Right? If there are so many different kinds of people, then you have to maintain relationships with each accordingly. It's important to stick to whatever was discussed with them. Basically, it's a simple thing. You have to keep your word. You need to follow through on what was agreed upon. They have to follow what they say. If you said, brother, we will buy at this rate and make the payment on this date, then you should do it. When you do this multiple times, a relationship starts to build, and that's exactly how I have built my relationship with SJC in my life. Alright, so the first time there was an issue with SJC at an institute was when I had to buy a computer for the first time. Now, you know, cash payments are not allowed for such purchases. So I went to a shop. There, at the electronics shop, I said I need a computer. He said, alright, you'll have to pay this much amount. So he said, fine, please pay this amount. I told him, brother, cash is not allowed, so I'll make the payment by check. He said, alright, and kept all the goods inside, didn't he? Alright, first give the check. The check will be deposited in the account, and once the money comes into my account, then you can come and take the computer. What's this, brother? First the goods, then the money. He says, first the money, then the goods. I said, do you think I'll run away or what? I have an institute, I have a card. So I asked, do you think I'll run away? Even you have a shop, you have an address. So I realized, who is in the dominant position here? It's the other person, because whatever he's saying to me, he'll say the same to everyone. Alright, I got an idea about the situation. Then another gentleman said the same thing. They treat everyone like this. There's no solution to it. So I said fine, let it be, and gave the check for one more day. The money was deposited into his account. I told him, brother, once the money is deposited, I won't be able to come again and again. I don't get much time. You please send it to me. Yes, that can be done. Alright, so the other person sent it then. I did so much of my work that the other person's expectations were fulfilled and mine were fulfilled. He fulfilled my expectations as well. Then, in this way, I set up a system. I said, brother, right now nobody knows us. We are not dominant, so what we are doing is, wherever we go to buy something. When we were setting up a lot of things in the institute, we slowly started the same system that we would go with a check. I would say, brother, you take this check first, deposit it in your account, and once the money is credited, then you can send the goods the next day. I didn't want to be in a hurry to pay in advance. So, what happened because of this is that the other person started trusting me. This happened only at one place. It happened only once. When I went to buy plywood, I took a check with me and handed over a signed check from my checkbook. That means he had also prepared the bill. Once the check was in front of him, I handed everything over to him. All right, I gave him the check. I told him this. I myself said, once the money from your check is credited to your account, then you can send me the goods. So the other person felt that I don't trust him. But he said, No, Satish ji, what are you saying? The goods will be sent right now. You have given the check. That is more than enough. So I felt, God, this is you. I mean, this happened for the first time in a plywood shop, where I took the check, signed the check and gave it. I told him, once the money is credited to your account, then you can send the goods. So the other person said this. There is nothing like that. The goods will be sent right now. The check will get cleared. No problem. Did you understand? So that was the start of a God-gifted relationship. I just attempted it and it was accepted at the time of the attempt. This is how relationships are built. You people don't know this because it's not there in your studies. The real world teaches you this, and if you don't learn it, then even after studying, you won't be able to do anything in life. You'll think, I've studied something, but when you actually go to do something, nothing is happening. When you try to do something, nothing is working out. You can't build relationships. You end up fighting and arguing. Fighting and arguing won't get you anywhere. You must meet expectations. Alright, so after that incident, that shop never gives anything on credit to anyone. After that, I would just call them the next time. If I needed more plywood, they would send it over and the bill would come. Even if I made the payment a week later, they never said anything. They never say anything. Did you understand? So this approach, this is what is called building a relationship. Once you master this art, you will achieve so much success in life that there will be no limit to it. Because everywhere you go, you will be dealing with people. And the problem is, you don't know how to deal with people. You don't know how to build relationships with people. If you start building relationships, like the way I said, you would be missed and people would always love to have you around. I followed this principle very rigorously the first time, lot of time, when I was there for the first time. I mean, what should I say, when I was taking my own place in the institute for the first time, there at a place called Ram Mandir. So, the owner was doubtful because the person in front was a tenant. Whether the person in front would pay me rent every month or not. He was very doubtful. Alright, because he had only heard about me. But I don't know who he is, what he is. I should give it to such a person on whom I don't have to touch my head. He was doubtful, so I said, just like when we go to rent a place, we usually tell the other person not to take advance payment. Normally, that's how we bargain. I said, no sir, you can take the advance from me, but what's the issue? If you need advance, it's not a problem. If you want to give, then give. But no, you please take it. Because what happens is, see, it's a transaction. Why are you trusting me so much? You don't even know me, right? Once you trust me, you can return it. So he started laughing. Alright, give the advance. Then I would ensure that within the first week of the month, their rent gets deposited into their account, and I would message them to inform that the amount has been credited to their account within the first week, and I used to do it very, very meticulously. Now what benefit did he get from that? About a year later, he had a salon. All right, coincidentally, I was passing by that area. I thought let me go and meet him. I said, Sir Bhaiya, I happen to be in this area near your place. So I saw that this is your saloon, and he said, come, sit, and I got a complete free haircut and shaving. You get a lot of gifts from relationships, but you should know how to fulfill the other person's expectations without expecting anything in return. So if the other person wishes to get the money on time, then I gave it. If the other person wanted an advance, without them saying anything, without them asking, I gave it on my own. That's how things change. There are thousands of such examples in my life. Let me tell you something. That's how the journey of a relationship begins. If you ask for something in return and try to control the other person, then a relationship will never form. You have to take the first step. Now, when you take the first step, there is always a risk whether the person you are doing it for is trustworthy or not. Are they worthy of my trust or not? What if they still manipulate me? Alright, let's say you did a lot for a really nice girl. Suppose, for example, the other person kept taking you for granted, took advantage of your unusual qualities to fulfill her own wishes, and then she was doing the same thing with others as well. The day you found out, you felt really hurt. You did everything very genuinely. This happens quite often, doesn't it? Whatever you did it wholeheartedly, genuinely, without expecting anything in return, and even then, if the other person treated you like that, then they don't deserve your relationship. So you have to come out of that and try with others. A giver always keeps trying. So if I did this and still some supplier is cheating us, if he is a cheater, then he is the one cheating. So now this is not my problem. It is the supplier's problem. God will take care of his accounts with him. Cheaters will get what they deserve, you see. Every karma has its own reaction. But if I was genuine, then I will just find other genuine suppliers, right? Why should I get stuck? Why should I keep thinking that I did so much for one person and still he did this to me? Now, from today onwards, I won't do this business at all. That's what kids do. They say, from today onwards, I won't even live this life. Ale, how can that be possible? Such a big life, such a big gift, got it from the gift code, got it from parents. Now I will not use it. You shut down the company? Just because one supplier cheats you, it doesn't work like that. Did you understand my point? Did you get the deep inner meaning? Correct. In the same way, we felt that we have to fulfill the expectations of customers as well. So, a concept was formed, customer relationship management. What are the expectations of a customer? Just think for yourself, as a customer, you want quality products, the price shouldn't be too high, and you should get good service too. If there is any problem and someone is giving a suggestion, then we should listen to them respectfully. If we do that, then a relationship is established. After this, there are many more ways to extend the relationship. But this is the bare minimum expectation. If this is all, it is fine. That's it. Now, if you use any Apple product, this is the kind of relationship Apple maintains with you. It's not like they'll send you a birthday cake on your birthday, right? It's not like if their son gets married, they'll invite you. There's no such need. It's not required. Did you understand? So that's customer relationship management, meeting bare minimum expectations, that is also enough. Right. Now, what exactly are these expectations to identify? Eventually, what does the supplier want? What does the customer want? What do you find in your friends like that? What is it with friends? What about your parents? To build a relationship, identify who that is. What is the other person expecting? You have to be vigilant and alert, okay. So earlier, what was it? Earlier, it was just purchase and sale. Then version 2 came, which was VRM or you can say SRM, and on this side, CRM came. Then even SRM was not enough. So we can say that first SRM came, then VRM came, or SRM came and then at another level, VRM came. Something like that happened. Just imagine this. Now, look at what you have written earlier. Don't strike it out, but understand now VRM has come. So now what happened is that because of this, the company started growing a lot and probably became bigger. And then we started thinking about how to make it even bigger. So in order to expand further, we started to find out who our customer is from customer to customer if we go to customer 1. If we go from customer 1 to customer 2, if we go, for example, from customer 1 to customer 2. See, if we go from customer 1 to customer 2. Suppose how? Basically, what we are trying to understand is that this customer sells something to another customer like it happens in companies, right? For example, this company makes billets from iron ore and sells those billets. Then that customer to melts that billet and makes some blocks and then sells the blocks to customer 2. In this way, there is a whole chain. Customer 2 might send it to customer 3 and like this, ultimately, the product reaches the end user. Suppose, for example, if I take iron ore, then this is iron ore. From that, they make billets from iron ore, iron, billets. They are called billets. Billets mean small pieces shaped like a wheel. Then, by melting those, someone makes a casting out of it. Casting means giving it some block or some shape. Then, from that casting, suppose someone makes a wire. From that casting, they also make rods. They make wires and rods. From those wires and rods, suppose someone makes a motor car. A car is made, and then from that car, it goes further to the end user who buys the car. Just like Tata has set up everything. Tata Iron and Steel Company makes billets and then they also do the casting. Their division has become so huge. Then they have a unit called Tata Structural. So Tata Structural makes rods and wires, right? And they also make pipes and tubes. Then they send these to Tata Motors, so that becomes their third customer. So what do these people do eventually? To further increase their production, they extend from customer 1 to customer 2. Extending from to 2-3 means they see that this work can also be done in-house and then they sell the goods to the next customer themselves. Then they see that if we do this work ourselves, we can sell the goods to that customer as well. We can also handle the work of the next customer in-house and sell the goods to them. This is what we think. So, when we do this, it is called forward integration. This is called forward integration. And similarly, there can be many suppliers behind the main supplier as well. Even the supplier will have their own supplier. So what we are thinking is, when this supplier is buying from another one, okay, this supplier, the one marked with the blue circle, let's say this is supplier 1 and this one is supplier 2. If supplier 1 is buying from supplier 2, then why don't we do the work of supplier 1 ourselves and buy directly from supplier 2? So this is what we call backward integration. What do we call it? Backward integration. I'm writing BWD for backward integration. So what is happening here? The scope is continuously increasing, isn't it? Earlier, our company was only doing purchase and sale. Then they thought of converting it into SRM and CRM, so relationships were established. As they started growing, from SRM it also became VRM. Then what happened? To grow further, we started doing the work of the customer, selling to their customer. We began doing their customer's work, selling to their customer. On the other side, we started dealing with the supplier, thinking that whoever he buys from, we should also start dealing with them and buying from them ourselves. Then, if we start dealing with the one he buys from, just imagine how far back we can go and how far ahead we can reach. By working on this, we expanded the company's span so much that now the entire industry is ours, you understand. So now that we have expanded so much, we have to keep this entire chain connected, right? What do we do to keep this chain connected? We create different small departments, like first we make Department A, which will handle the work of Supplier 1. Then we make Department B, which will handle the work of Supplier 2. Similarly, Customer 1, 2 and 3 will all have separate departments. For Customer 1, there is Department X. For Customer 2, there is Department Y, where some people have been deputed and they are handling that particular work. Eventually, that department also becomes so big that sometimes it even takes the form of a company. A separate company has to be formed, otherwise that department won't function. The people who are running it won't say why a company needs to be formed, because they want some variable rewards for their hard work, a percentage of the profits. So, to separate out the profits, a new company has to be created. So, this also happens like Tata did. Tata Steel is separate, Tata Tubes is separate, and Tata Motors is separate. This is done so that the people running each can increase the profits, and if they want to take a percentage of the profits, they can do that too. There is no problem. There is no problem like that. Did you understand? But the Tata that was started, say Tata Sons, its job is to keep all these together. Alright, so now how will they keep them together? Basically, they are keeping them together in their minds, and you can see it written on paper, and they are making such policies that everyone stays connected. This entire network, which is delivering goods from the first supplier to the end consumer. In the whole industry, this entire network is called the supply chain. Alright, and in this supply chain, it is seen that the different divisions are actually different companies. In general, all of them maintain a customer or supplier relationship with each other. And you should try to bring control over this supply chain, and by control, I don't mean the kind where whatever I say, you have to do. Alright, you don't have to become Kabir Singh. Bringing control means bringing love. You need to have such love that everyone remains loyal to you. They should work together for you, without you having to say anything. We need that kind of control where work happens with the love of a relationship. Nothing should be done by scaring or threatening, only then will you have complete control. The intelligence you need to apply in each process, that intelligence itself is called supply chain management. Supply chain management means managing the entire connection, and management here means maintaining relationships with all the entities involved in the supply chain so that your ultimate objective is fulfilled. It means ensuring that our objective is being fulfilled. Right. In general, what happens when you focus like this? Yours. The flow of raw materials into the system and the sales of finished goods outside the system continues smoothly. A flow is maintained in this way as if everything is streamlined and running smoothly. It means you are connected to every supplier as well as to every customer. You are also getting to know their needs. You are also receiving their suggestions. Altogether, it feels like there is a complete system made just for you, which is running automatically. If you want to understand the full supply chain management concept, then there can't be a better or simpler concept than this. Alright. I hope the concept is clear, isn't it? Let's move ahead. What is being said here? Do we have more to learn? In many companies, instead of using the word supply chain, they used to call it the commercial team. Nowadays, the word commercial pinches a little. People think that the word commercial means someone will manipulate things. But even today, in many places, it's still called the commercial team. But now it's become a bit of an international terminology. Have you heard of Tim Cook from the supply chain? Tim Cook, Tim Cook. If you haven't heard the name, then what have you done? Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple right now. What is his expertise? What is his expertise? What did they discover about him? Steve Jobs found him and brought him in. And he was placed in Apple for looking after the supply chain. Apple has worldwide production and worldwide distribution. So how did Tim Cook become the CEO? So I made it. Because he traveled all over the world, did his research, and figured out from where to source raw materials, where to get the production done, and how to manage the distribution. He organized the entire flow using his brains and efforts. It was only through this knowledge that Apple was eventually able to become a world-class company. Just think about the supply chain in this way. Now, do you have any idea where the things you use at home are actually made? You probably don't even have a clue. But still, those things have reached you. This is all thanks to the supply chain. One day, I suddenly saw a new ad on TV. Vicks Baby Rub for children, because it turns out the regular Vicks we used isn't suitable for kids. The regular one is too strong, so what exactly is Vicks Baby Rub? I saw the ad just today, so I thought, since I watched a bit of TV in the evening, let me step out. If it's available at the shop, I'll just buy it. I saw the ad for the first time today itself, and when I went out to the shop and asked for Vicks Baby Rub, he said yes, it's available. I got it, brought it home, see, it was there just like in the ad. Before that his son arrived at the shop. When would they have made it ready? This is all thanks to the supply chain that things are accessible to us. During the COVID times, the Covaxin or Covishield vaccines were being given to the entire country. From where was the vaccine formula coming? Where was the production happening? And how did it reach even the most rural and remote areas? This too is the work of the supply chain. Much intelligence goes into this. Hard work is needed. Cold drinks are available in every lane. You can find chips in every street. Where is it made? Where is it available? Just imagine. It's all because of the knowledge of this. Now, just having knowledge is not enough. By applying it again and again, these companies are able to achieve this. Alright, so these days the concept of global supply chain has come up. Which concept has come up? The concept of global supply chain. Notes read. Globalization, severe competition, increased customer awareness, rapid changes in technology, and other geographical factors have rapidly changed the business environment. In these new business horizons, traditional management approaches often fail to deliver. If you are working in this business world, you won't be able to get results with the old approach. That's why managers must understand that businesses are merely a part of a bigger whole, the supply chain. All businesses are a part of a bigger supply chain. You too are a part of a large supply chain. Now, whether you are handling all the work of the entire supply chain or not, that's a different matter. But you are a part of a supply chain. So, we have a situation where the success of an organization depends not only on its own growth, but also on the efficiency and effectiveness of the entire supply chain. If the flow in the supply chain is not smooth, then efficiency and effectiveness will not be achieved. Efficiency means that all the work is being done without any wastage, and effectiveness means achieving the desired results. Alright. The simple rule of survival and success is sink or swim with the supply chain, meaning live or die with the supply chain. It was first noted in an article written by Oliver and Weber in 1982, which appeared in the Financial Times. The authors used the term to describe a whole array of activities performed by the organization in procuring and managing supply. How did the authors describe what is a supply chain? They considered the whole array, meaning the range of activities that we perform in procuring and managing supply. Procuring the supply and managing the supply. But in this, as many activities as possible are involved. Next, what is a supply chain? So from here, we will find and pick out some definitions of supply chain. We won't read the whole thing. This is a network of facilities and distribution options that performs the functions of procurement, that is, buying materials, transformation meaning production as well into finished goods, and distribution of these to the customer. Bring it in, produce it, and distribute it. So supply chain doesn't just mean only this side or that side. We ourselves are also a part of the supply chain. So what is being said here? Network is a word, keyword is facilities, and keyword is distribution as well. Alright, and there are 3 tasks happening in this. The first task is procurement, the second is transformation, and the third is distribution. Alright. All kinds of vendors are included in the supply chain network. That's why transporters, warehouse, retailers, and even customers are considered part of the supply chain right up to the end user. In the supply chain, the links are the participating companies. These links are formed. These are called links, participating companies that come in as supplier 1, supplier 2, and so on. These are the participating companies. These are also referred to as the supporting companies. This can either be on the upstream side of the material flow and refers to a supplier like a company. So, the supplier side is also called the upstream. Another word for this is upstream. Okay. And on the downside, it will be the customer side. We call this downstream, and the company around which you are building your supply chain is called the OEM, that is, Original Equipment Manufacturer, or OBM, which stands for Original Brand Manufacturer, or it is also called the focal company. For example, OEM refers to those who are manufacturing, and OBM refers to those who are not manufacturing themselves. For example, take Apple. Apple does not manufacture itself, it gets it done by others. It owns the brand. An OEM is a company that manufactures on its own, like L&T, Larsen and Toubro, doing construction work itself. But nowadays, everyone wants to focus more on brand manufacturing. They say, why do it ourselves? L&T takes up projects. They now outsource the work to others. They have no machines of their own. So, if you are doing self-production, then you will be called an OEM. If you are not doing the production yourself and are getting it done through outsourcing, then you will be called an OBM. If the production is outsourced, then it will be called OBM. Did you understand this? Here too, a flow has been created, which you must have understood by now. The supply chain is also called the industry value chain. It is also called the value chain of industry. Alright, what will you call it if it is also called the industry value chain? Industry value chain. Just the word value chain is written incorrectly. Industry value chain is the correct term. It is also called the demand chain. Because here, everyone is demanding something from each other. This one demands from that one demands from this one, then this one demands from that one, and that one demands from this one. This is about goods and about money. This one demands money from that one, and that one from this one, back and forth, right? Give money, give money, give money. Give me the goods, give me the goods. Give goods, give goods. Understood? There are 4 types of flows in the supply chain. These can be called the 4 intrinsic flows. Now, in this entire chain, 4 things are flowing. One is material flow. You must have understood what material is. Material means whatever comes out as output from here, that is material. The output from here is its material, the output from there is its material. So material is flowing. Second, information is flowing. Information flow means details like what is needed, when the delivery will happen, all that information. Then there is finance flow. Money is flowing. Alright, and then what does commercial flow mean? Commercial means a transaction is happening, some kind of accounting transaction is taking place. Transaction basically means ownership is being transferred. Normally, in the supply chain, even if all the divisions belong to the same company, we consider them as separate companies. It's not like they are just operating as a single division. That's why the assumption is that ownership transfer is taking place. Commercial flow means the transaction is changing. Financial flow, I am sure you must have understood. The money, that is, the payment, is being transferred. Information means requirements, specifications. Isn't it? Requirements and specifications. Then delivery dates, delivery communication. All that information is flowing. If even one of these 4 stops, the entire supply chain will collapse. All 4 should keep running. Alright, these 4 are also the 4 major areas of concern. These 4 intrinsic flows are also the 4 major areas of concern. If even one stops, everything will come to a halt. Alright, you can also call these the 4 functions. Functions of supply chain. Explain the function of supply chain. Okay. Are you able to understand the key points or not? It seems easy, right, after getting all this information? So now, what is supply chain management? What is supply chain management? It is written here. What is supply chain management? You have learnt about the supply chain. Now, what is management? Management means using intelligence to improve all the links, connections, and flow. trying to achieve results as per your requirements, that is, the coordination of production, inventory, location, and transportation. You can also write it like this: coordination among the various links and among the various participants in the supply chain to achieve the best mix of responsiveness and efficiency. For the market being soft, write it in a slightly technical definition. If you write this, you will get marks. If you write a haphazard definition, you won't get marks. Chain means link, and here it is about the coordination of different links. In order to achieve the best possible result, it is important to focus on both responsiveness and efficiency throughout the entire process. By prioritizing these qualities, we can ensure that our actions are both timely and effective. With this approach in mind, let's move ahead together, confident that we are making the right choices to reach our goals successfully. Next, what is it? The objectives of supply chain. In supply chain, basically, there are three objectives: R, C, and I. All right from RCI. Remember, R is for this. So, conform to the specific requirements of the customer. C is for becoming cost effective. If there is wastage in the supply chain, then the cost of goods will increase. And I is for integration of every unit in the supply chain so that everyone is well aware of everything, what is going on. Alright, otherwise if any link becomes weak, for example, if the distributor becomes weak, if the retailer becomes weak, then the end user will suffer. The end user will not even get the product. If that happens, everything produced will go to waste. So every link is important. In the objective exam, you have to write the full sentence. Yes, if you can write the sentence in the summary, do that. Otherwise, make a sentence using the keywords. That works. For customer requirements, you can make sentences yourself. Whether it's customer requirement, supply chain, focuses on meeting all requirements of the customer, just make a cost-effective sentence. Supply chain works on making the system more cost efficient. You will be able to make such sentences, and if not, then you will have to study. Next comes the components of supply chain management. So, there are 5 components in components. You can also call them 5 components or units. As I mentioned above as well, if you pay attention here, where was it? See this: manufacturer, supplier, transporter, warehouse, retailer, customer. So those are the same components, just converted into 5 parts. Production means manufacturing, inventory means warehousing. Location means where you will produce and where you will store. Then transportation is obvious and information is quite clear. So, let's look at it a bit more. Production means producing exactly what the market wants, as per market requirement. You see, something amazing happened. I have so many examples, you'll tire of them. But you know what your problem is? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I have my exam, my own exam. Even now, I just want to finish it and still have to give the exam. If someone teaches for long, you say, "Yaar, he teaches too long." Don't study, it shouldn't be like that. No one wants to teach for long, why would they give more time? We want to give time so that you remember things. With examples and stories, things stick in your mind. You won't forget this story, my supply chain example or the Apple example. Let me give such small examples, yaar. In production, everything depends on market requirements. In earlier times, when we used to bring flour home. So what was the system for flour? We used to buy wheat, clean it, and then take it to get it ground. They used to call it at the mill and to the miller. Bhaiya, give us coarse flour, that's what we used to say. We would get the wheat ground at the mill and say, give us coarse flour. Give us coarse flour, all right. Now eventually, what happened was that someone got a business idea that people who use flour at home go to the mill to get it ground, and there are queues at the mill. Many times, so let's make a very big mill. We will buy wheat and flour in bulk from the farmers, and it's not always necessary to buy directly from the farmer. There are also contractors in between. There are contractors for wheat as well, so we will buy from them and grind it in a big mill. If we grind in very large quantities, the cost of flour will also come down a bit, and we will sell flour in bulk as each household needs around 100 kilos of flour. Someone did a market study like this, and there was also a requirement in the market, because sometimes there wasn't a mill near people's homes. For example, suppose someone moved to Mumbai. Where would they find the mill? They still needed flour for bread, so having a nearby mill really helped. They couldn't find flour easily. They had to depend on whatever was available. Right, so when flour is ground, there is basically a sieve fitted in the mill. So, the coarse brown part that remains in the sieve is called choker. Choker, as per the standard, should be mixed back into the flour. According to the standard, it should be mixed into the flour, because that choker contains a lot of nutrition and basically it is rich in fiber. If we eat it along with the roti, then after reaching the stomach, the roti does not stick to the intestines, otherwise the roti sticks to the intestines and causes constipation. That's how it is. Earlier, those who used to grind flour in the chakki knew about this. That's why those who were in the flour mill business used to do this, and they would give it along with the flour. Now the flour mill owner has installed such big machinery, is buying in bulk, and has employed so many workers, so what will he want? He will want his customers to buy flour in large quantities, like 100 or 200 kilos at a time. So, he offers discounts. He is bringing in a lot of such offers, making big packets of various kinds. Now, what is the problem for the buyers? They say, we have to store so much flour. Then, you have to open the flour and use it. Once you open the packet, insects get into it, no idea where they come from. They go and settle right inside the flour. Then you have to throw away that flour. We want small ones, not big ones. What does the company want? They want you to buy big packets. If you do, insects get in. What should we do? So, the customer's requirement is that we don't have a problem buying more. But there shouldn't be any insects in it. So, when this news kept circulating from the retailer to the distributor and from the distributor to the company, then they started thinking about it. What did you do in the company? What should be done? How are insects getting in? So, after doing a lot of R&D, they realized that the bran which remains on top after grinding in the mill, the brownish part that is mixed into the flour, if that is removed from the flour, then insects do not infest it. They have checked this through a lot of R&D. By chance, maybe someone clicked on the idea or someone told them that we don't know. But a story can be made out of this as well, even on this topic. So then they packed some flour and gave it, without the bran. So, flour without bran is a bit finer, it looks a bit plain, and the rotis made from it appear whiter. And they made a separate ad for those white rotis. So, it was like, wow, look at these white rotis, they're so enjoyable. So people started thinking that white rotis are better. And if you buy that flour, insects won't get into it either. When he got AIDS, he started buying more flour. Even we keep it at home now. Flour packets, and there are no insects in it, right? Because there is no thief in it. Understood? So, this is about manufacturing things as per the requirement. If your company figures this out, your company will capture the market. This is the science of production requirements, not just information but flow. In your supply chain, customers don't speak to company directly. He tells the retailer tells the distributor goes and tells the company's manufacturer, tells the owner. The company focuses on it. They hire a vendor, ask what should we do. They bring in a consultant and everyone works together. Then something reaches the consumer. Now, what about the customer? The poor customer is innocent and simple. Like you kids, you are innocent, you don't know. What's good for you is finishing your studies fast, you think. However, the customer thinks that the bus should not get spoiled, so he should buy more. That's all he thinks about. But ultimately, there is a science behind this, the food we eat. Its purpose is not just that it shouldn't spoil. That's why eating that food, its purpose when it goes inside. It should be retained in the body, should be digested, and whatever is not digested should be eliminated. If you understand this science, then you'll realize the real meaning of what you are eating and how it affects you. The thing is, when you eat flour without bran, it lacks fiber. So that flour ends up sticking inside your stomach. So, people who eat more rotis, those who say, I only eat rotis, I just eat rotis at home, if the flour they use is the packaged one from the market without bran, then in their homes, complaints like constipation, gastric issues, obesity, diabetes, or blood pressure will definitely be there. Why? Because the food coming into their homes is not the one with fiber, not the nutritious food. And the flour they are eating has no nutrition left in it, no nutrition remains that can be digested. It just sticks in the stomach gets bloated in different places, obesity comes, it is not digested. What does the body do? When it sees that some food has come which we cannot digest or push out, the body keeps converting that food into fat and deposits it in different places. Much of it remains stored in the intestine. This happens because your only requirement is that it not spoil. You never asked that the food is digestible. You should have, dear customer, and even if it's in small packets and costs more, that's fine. The company wanted to sell as much as possible and you wanted to buy in bulk, but as long as it doesn't spoil, your requirement was fulfilled. But if your body gets affected, then ideally, get your flour ground at the mill, eat it with the bran, and live your life happily. You will be much healthier and happier. And if any company comes along that understands this and brings it back, that company will reach the next level. Right now, things are going as per the current requirements. Understood? Remember this story and see for yourself at home. What is the story of wheat bran in your house? If rotis are eaten more at home, then how many people in your family have constipation? How many are overweight? How many have blood pressure or diabetes? If you want to fix these issues, fix the flour first. Go show the video, make everyone at home sit together, play this part for everyone, alright? Bring changes in your lifestyle, improve your life, studies and everything else will fall into place. Alright, next, so what was the concept of this production? As per the requirement of the market, okay, as per the requirement of the market. In this, master production schedules have to be made. Master production schedule means when, which product, in what quantity, on which machine it will be made. A complete detailed production schedule is prepared, which takes into account capacity, workload balancing, quality control, and equipment maintenance scheduling. Just like you all studied operations management as a subject, all those things are implemented here in the entire production process. Second is inventory, which means the quantity of inventory you have should be optimal. You should have some buffer stock. So if uncertainty arises, you can meet it. Disruptions can happen in the supply chain. With inventory, you can manage. But you also need to keep in mind, if you keep too much, the cost of holding will increase. That's why you should pay attention to optimal inventory you study in material costing. Third is location. What is third? It is location. That is, third is location. So what is location? Location means, for production and storage of inventory, the location of the factory and the location of the warehouse. If these are far apart, what will happen? Ultimately, your cost will start increasing, and if the cost increases, then what will happen? In business, either you will increase the price, and if you can't, then there will be losses. Then transportation. Transportation should also be in a cost-effective mode. Nowadays, many companies have started using electric vehicles. You have to find out what is the optimum way of transporting. Vehicles should be fuel efficient, and the distance should be as minimum as possible. You will choose the optimal distance using navigation. There is a lot of wedge. Based on this, what size of vehicle will be used? Then, the transportation chapter that you study, you use algorithms to decide how much and which goods will be transported from which factory to which warehouse. There should not be any delay in this. That's fine in this. What is written here? Let's read it. Inventory decisions are discussed related to transportation mode, cost-effective transport, results should not be delayed, movement of goods and uncertainty in transport. Uncertainty may be countered with higher stock, which increases inventory investment. Thus, choosing the transport mode is crucial to supply chain success. So, what is written here? Try to understand. Here it is saying that if you go with a cheaper mode, then what will happen? The goods will reach late. There could be an issue with that. If the goods arrive late, then you will have to keep more inventory. Otherwise, how will you deal with the uncertainty? That's why choosing the right mode of transportation is very critical. So basically, here, if you want to give a suggestion, you can do that as well. Otherwise, you can also write this point. In the exam, what you have to do is highlight the 5 components. More importantly, inside, you can write anything in your own words that is correct. So you just need to highlight these words. Cost-effective mode and transport should also be cost-effective, but it should not result in delay. It must be cost-effective. But there should not be any delay. What will happen if there is a delay? If there is a delay, more inventory will be required, and with more inventory, the cost will start increasing. Then what is being said about information? Information should flow smoothly so that we can quickly make decisions about what needs to be done. So ultimately, what is the use of information? It's about faster and effective decisions about what to produce, how much to produce, where to locate, and how best to transport. Information is basically the backbone of everything that we do. How much to produce, how much inventory to keep, what the location will be. The information you get behind all these things, which helps you make the best decisions, that is what we call information, right? Then there's another point here talking about the market. So, when we go and work in the market, even marketing activities are connected to the supply chain. Marketing means that you have to develop your product in such a way that it can fulfill the customer's requirements. This is what is called the complete role or function of marketing. You have to do production in such a way that the customer's requirements can be fulfilled. So, generally people think of two types of markets. One is the mass market and the other is the niche market. What happens in a mass market is that we cater to the crowd, to a large public, so in that we have to focus on cost leadership. If you want to cater to the masses, the crowd usually doesn't have much money. You will have to focus on reducing the cost. This is called cost leadership. Cost leadership means you have to work at a low cost, so all decisions will be made accordingly. The entire supply chain, everything, is focused on how to make things cheaper. There is no question of making things expensive, and for this, you have to keep optimizing costs. You have to keep looking all the time for ways to save costs. For example, take IKEA furniture. IKEA is a furniture store now in Hyderabad in India which sells the world's cheapest furniture. So how do they keep the costs low? So there has been a lot of study on this. They don't do the packing for the furniture, they tell you to take it yourself, and they don't do delivery either. They design the furniture in such a way that you can fold it completely, whether it's a bed or a sofa, everything can be folded and unfolded easily. They innovate such kinds of furniture. Alright, what is their system? Their warehouse and showroom are the same. The warehouse is where the display happens downstairs, storage is done upstairs, that's what they say. If you store things in two places and have a showroom where customers come, it will cost you for both. So build a warehouse so customers come there. Build the warehouse at a location where customers easily come, saving transportation costs. He uses intelligence. There are many case studies on AKA. You can read about it on Google. Then, niche market means that you are serving some exclusive, quality-conscious people. For that, your strategy is product differentiation strategy, as it is called. Deal with exclusive products and focus more on customer satisfaction and responsiveness, even if it incurs extra cost. Alright, try to do whatever the customer wants, at whatever cost, so that they get a good product. Alright. So if you set these 4 components such as sourcing, production, distribution, and inventory management, after thoroughly understanding your overall market conditions and customer needs, it gives you much better results in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. This is the core strategy to manage the supply chain successfully. In essence, supply chain management is all about coordinating these elements to achieve optimal performance. It's about serving the right market. If you can't serve the market, if you can't meet the customer's requirements, the entire chain will collapse. If the customer doesn't buy, he is sitting at the end, then nothing will happen at all. Somewhere, there was a word written about the market, procuring and managing are all fine. But somewhere there was a word, it was in supply chain management itself. Maybe efficiency of the market being sold, whether it's a mass market or a niche market, in supply chain, this coordination of different links is to achieve the best responsiveness and efficiency for the market being served. If you don't keep the market in the picture, the supply chain simply won't exist. You see, Apple has done this, Dabur has done this, Patanjali has done this, and HP has done this as well. How did MI do it? They really created a sensation. So, You could say MI is the one that made sure everyone in the Indian market could get a phone. Otherwise, today not all of us would have a phone. MI does not enter. Then not all of us would have had phones. MI brought a complete revolution. People wanted smartphones with big screens, good touch screens, stylish looks, sleek design, good RAM, good storage, and all that at a low price. It was right in the middle of all this excitement and longing. When MI first launched, they had flash sales on their website, letting you buy only at certain times, then it was over. Sometimes, there was a sale just one day a week or once every 2 weeks. So, I waited for that sale and bought my first MI phone. Then gradually, as they increased their capacity, they started selling from the MI store. After that, they fixed the prices and stopped the flash sale concept. But the concept of market being outside is that, to capture the mass market, things were sold at cheaper prices. How they tried to become the complete dominant player. Then I will show it to him. Other companies also started bringing out their own versions in the same way, because of which today all of us have mobile phones. Alright, so when there is good supply chain management, the world changes, people's world changes, just like the world around us has changed today. If you use any product from now on, just think for a while. How would its entire supply chain have been? Which company made it? Often it's written on the product label who made it, who did its marketing. Where did you get it from? And where would they have sourced it from? Do a bit of research, bring the supply chain to life in your mind in the real world, and then enjoy the concept. And you know what you have to do next. Next, you have to make a summary note of this. Alright, now you'll never forget the supply chain conceptually, but what if you don't remember the terms for the exam? That's why making those notes is very important. I'll write down the points on which you should make notes for each topic. You have to prepare the answer based on those points. What is a supply chain? First there will be the first point, then what will be the second point? After what is a supply chain, include its diagram, its model with the diagram, in which you should add OEM, focal company, everything. Then, what are the 4 functions of the supply chain, which include 4 flows: material flow, information flow, finance flow, and commercial flow. Then the third point is what is supply chain management, its definition, then the objectives of supply chain management and its code word: R for requirement, C for cost, I for integration. Then, components of the supply chain. There are 5 areas: production, inventory, location, transportation, and information. Production, inventory, location, transformation, transportation, and information. Just remember P, I, L, T, I, and one more. You can also include market in this. Take this as a separate point. From the market, another point comes up. What is the difference between logistics and supply chain? Sometimes this comes in objective questions. Logistics normally means goods transportation. Well, that becomes the meaning of supply chain. It is the link of several companies. You see, all right. Logistics is domestic and international. Very large factories exist domestically. So, what is the logistics from one department to another? That also happens. And when we talk about supply chain, it connects different companies within an industry. Alright, write this down as well and make these notes. Send the notes. Wait for me, let me see who is making it well. I want to be a good student. See you in the next session. Thank you so much.